everybody to Man Bites Media, and this is a special presentation of Man Bites Film, and we're going retro on this one. This one is just gonna be myself, Lewis, and I got the original special guest, the original co-host of this show, Brandon, on, and
Hello.
we're going old school style on this one. It's just gonna be the two of us talking about movies like we
Yep.
used to, and hopefully we'll be able to get our word out on this one film that we're going to be reviewing, which is The Amazing Mandy. This is a horror psychological thriller of sorts that was released on a few months ago and just got released on Shudder this week, and it's interesting. Let's go right into it.
By the way, before you get into that, it is special. It's our 3-year anniversary, so
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
it's our 3 year as Man Bites Film, and then our
Mm-hmm.
1 year as Man Bites Media.
Yep.
It's been a fucking crazy journey, man.
Has been
It's
a
been a
journey.
really crazy journey.
Yes, it has. And what other way to have this journey, to have this momentous occasion than with Mandy? Because Jesus Christ, this movie's weird.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we started off this thing with a pretty weird movies. So between
Yeah,
Primer and the Babadook,
yeah.
and then we came back with the Babadook on our 2 year anniversary. So we had to do this as our 3rd year. This is another interesting movie that might be one for the record books, I think. And
Yeah.
and
Yes, yes, yes.
honestly, we got to do it our style. So what did you think? What were your first impressions of this movie, Brands?
Um, Visually, it's very interesting. The colors, um, like there's a lot of like red hues, and the lighting is very odd. The music, I gotta say, was top notch. The composer,
Passed away.
Johan Johansson, which actually passed away. This movie's dedicated to him. He
Yeah.
does like a blend of like 80s synth with like metal in the action sequences,
Yeah.
and I actually thought that the music was one of the better parts of the experience, I guess.
Well, he was actually originally going to be doing working on the Dune project. He was
Oh,
supposed to be
really?
doing the music for Dune.
What's this
And
guy's name? The Blade Runner 2049 dude. Uh,
oh god, I blanked out on his
Dennis
name. Villeneuve.
Dennis
Yeah.
Villeneuve. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, this guy was supposed to be working as the composer for it, and obviously with his untimely demise, like he won't be able to be gracing us with his musical score
Yeah,
on Dune, but this is
unfortunately.
definitely one that he left a huge imprint on. This movie probably wouldn't be half without the score. Honestly, the score gives you that sense of dread. It gives you that like tension that builds that right
Hmm.
from the beginning. You feel like this weird vibe underneath the whole movie of like what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
I
if
think
I
the
w-
first impressions that I had of it in theaters was like, dude, this is like the trippiest movie ever. It's like something
yes,
on bath salts. That's
yeah,
what it feels like.
that's what I was about to say. This is the closest thing you can get to basically seeing a movie on drugs
Yeah,
without
yeah.
being on drugs. God, don't watch this movie on drugs, please. Whatever you do, please do not do that to yourself. Um, the movie's crazy. I really don't know how I feel about it. Um,
I love Nicolas Cage, and this is probably his best performance ever as an actor. He stole the show 100%.
yeah, the movie's weird. Like my gripes with it are, um, basically. There's a lot of things that they don't really go into detail about, like the biker gang.
Which is
Um,
awesome. The ATV Hellraiser biker gang. That's what I
yeah,
call them.
like for a moment I was like, "Yo, are these people like otherworldly? Like, what the hell's going on?" But they're not. they're just really
There's,
psycho people.
when I first watched this movie, I read a lot into it, and I was like, oh, it has to be this, it has to be this. This is all like a psychological sci-fi thriller, all this stuff. Dude,
Yeah.
I think it's just a revenge movie with a trippy like twist to it. There's nothing to look into in this movie. It's
Yeah, there's
not.
there's nothing otherworldly. It's just dudes. Like it's a cult mixed with some psycho sadomasochist like biker gang,
Yeah,
basically.
it's honestly just exactly what you see on the surface. I don't
Yeah.
think that it goes any further than that.
The
Actually,
one
hold on a second, guys. I'm actually getting a call from John. 1 second.
All message played back.
Okay, it looks nice. What's the religion this cult is going for again? Are they just all in awe of this one guy? What's his deal? There is absolutely no indication that there's this internal animal here. There's no indication that this guy is Dwight from Sin City. If whatever there was about this character that we should have known this way at the beginning of the movie, or at the very least in the first 10 minutes. But because the director has his head firmly planted so far up his ass and so hell bent to make a movie look so cool with pointlessly oversaturated colors and cinematography and sluggish pacing.
All
awesome.
right, so yeah, I guess he wanted his word on this movie as well.
Okay,
That's
okay.
awesome. Okay.
What I was gonna say, the only guy that was weird from the biker gang was the dude that's like all slimy because he was like,
Dude, that was so cool.
I was like, what is this guy? What the hell? By the way, the one guy that like completely throws you off is the dude that takes the arrow to like the neck. One of the biker guys towards the end, he takes he just pulls it out, and he's like, and you're like, huh?
Well, imagine if you actually look at it, because this will be the third time I've seen the movie, and I just saw it again last night prior to recording this.
Okay,
And
this is my first time watching this film, so
yeah, it's one of those that I watched it the first time in theaters, then I watched it again afterwards as a digital
okay.
copy, and then I just watched it again as a Blu-ray. And I was able to pause a little bit better, have a little bit better quality. And if you look at where the arrow goes on the neck, it literally just scrapes his neck on the side.
Okay.
So technically, it wouldn't have cut anything. Now, he would have been in a world of pain. But if he's so fucked up from the hallucinogens and everything, it kind of,
like there were a couple things that the dude with the tiger, like he just shows up out of nowhere, and I'm like, who the hell is this person?
He's a chemist.
I know, but they don't really go into that.
They don't need to. Why does everything need to get explained in movies? I don't understand that concept.
I don't know, because like to me it's like this character shows up out of nowhere with a fucking tiger in a cage. The dude is super weird. Oh shit, my bad guys. I'm getting a call from
All message played back.
Hey there, guys. I was pleasantly surprised on how much I liked the film, the vibrancy of the color and the sound, and that soundtrack by Johan Johansson. That was amazing. Marrying of that amazing color palette, which is extremely violent, very, very striking. God, yeah. It's like you're so totally drawn in just because the color and the sound is amazing. But then the scripting, again, it's silence for so long, but they tell such huge stories in those silences, especially when Mandy's walking through the forest. There's so much that you're wondering about. Why? Why are they there? How did they get to that circumstance? So looking forward to checking in again.
I guess he wanted to let us know what he thought also.
I guess we're getting everybody that watched this movie and from the show wants their little input on it.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, because
that is
the Babadook we all kind of agreed on, and I'm glad that we did. I think this is one that's gonna be different for everybody.
So, as I was saying, I don't know. This guy shows up out of nowhere with a tiger, and you're like, who is this man? He just, I don't know, it's just really random. And there's not really an explanation for him being there. He's there for at most what, like 2 or 3 minutes, and then that's it.
Well, imagine this. This is the way that I think that the story is told, which is kind of an old school way of telling stories. And this is very much like the horror movies of the 70s and 80s were like this. They give you the perspective of one person throughout the movie. Now, you get a little bit of backstory of some of the things, so you're not completely befuddled, but you get the perspective of one person, which that in this case is Nicolas Cage's character, Red.
Yeah.
And that is the only character that really you see throughout. And it's literally a slice of life because it's literally one moment in time. There's not really any backstory to any of these characters whatsoever.
There's
But
like slight little things, like when Mandy goes into, she starts talking about her dad wanting to kill the starlings or whatever.
correct,
Um,
which that is such an awesome, very
Yeah.
like ominous scene that gives you chills. At least it gives me chills every time I've watched it, and
yeah.
it's kind of like one of those things like, whoa, what?
Is definitely Nicolas Cage at his finest. And
There's
that's not
one scene in
to say,
particular.
there's not to say much from me, but yeah. Like when it comes to Nicolas Cage, I honestly don't think he's that great. Sorry
Oh, dude,
for
but
anyone that thinks he is.
he, like the thing is with Nick Cage is that he goes after paychecks. Unlike most actors and auteurs and all that stuff, they try to choose and pick and choose their movies. Nick Cage
Yeah.
is old school style. He just goes in whatever is a paycheck for him. And whether it's a good role or not, and whether it's literally mailing in a performance or not. And
He's
again, that's a very old school way of acting.
he's the epitome of a sellout, basically. Like he'll just do whatever he
Why is it a
needs
sellout?
to get.
He
Not,
needs money.
I'm not calling him a sellout. I'm just saying that's what people will refer to him as, a sellout, because he's willing to do anything for a quick buck, for lack of a better term. So I'm not
Yeah,
saying
but
anything against him.
I think it's awesome because then he's able to make movies like this
Yeah.
that are extremely low budget and able to
What
show a
is
performance.
what
If
is
it
the
wasn't
budget on this
for
film?
movies like National Treasure and all that stuff, he wouldn't be able to do movies like this that he could literally forfeit half of his paycheck for, and you know, give these people like basically half the cost of what he normally charges for people. And that's awesome because you're getting a great actor, but for movies that are independent as well, which what's his name from Lost in Translation does the same thing.
Bill
Oh,
Murray?
yeah, Bill Murray does the same thing. He does his Hollywood film, he does his sellout film, as you call it, and
Yeah.
then he does his independent films.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, why would you fault him for doing the same thing that Bill Murray does, yet Bill Murray is considered this all like really awesome actor and all this stuff, which I don't get. It's like, okay, yeah, he's a good actor, and I put him
Yeah.
on par with Nick Cage. He's a good actor in a different way.
Yeah,
And
Bill Murray's more of a comedic actor, and
subtle sarcasm.
yeah, Nick Cage is Nick Cage.
Yeah.
For lack of, but I don't know how to describe Nick Cage. The man is just weird.
So hold on a second. I'm getting a call from John real quick.
All message played back.
But then I walk into this, I'm going, you're just doing 80s style just for the sake of being 80s style because that's what's in right now. There's no reason for any of this. There's no reason for the lighting you're choosing. There's no reason for it does nothing to enhance the mood. It does nothing to add to anything. And frankly, because the action sequences that you're going for are the way they are, completely clash with the pacing that you're going for. All of a sudden, sluggish. Oh, hey, here's a bloody chainsaw fight. Which even then, I'm looking at that with going, I'm sorry, just because your chainsaw is 10 feet long does not give you a tactical advantage. If anything, it's going to make you even slower. Stuff like this looks awesome, but in the end does not make for anything gratifying as a viewing experience. And everything about this just is a mess. Even if you were to tell me that all this stuff was actually alluded to through subtle acting and subtle imagery. I'm not seeing it because it's buried under totally pretentious visual style. And normally when you let Nicolas Cage off the leash, it's interesting. I mean, hell, even when he's freaking out over his prescription of Matchstick Men, he's threatening to kick someone till they piss blood, and it feels right with the rest of the movie. But this, the only time he does is one Nicolas Cage freak out, it just feels weird compared to the rest of the movie. So Mandy is a tonal mismatch. It's a pace mismatch. It is a mess of a film.
So I guess John had a couple words to say about this one.
Man.
I think he took your opinion on to the next level on this one.
Okay. Okay.
He had some words to say about it. I'll tell you that. But let's
again.
honestly, I have to agree with him in one aspect. I do think it is kind of the director does kind of take it a little bit far sometimes and stretches the imagination a little bit. But so does Wes Anderson. So does so many different directors, and you can't blame them for doing that. That's how we change and we evolve.
When you're saying that, what do you mean by he takes it to another? Like, oh, by the way, the director of this film, his name is Panos Cosmatos, which
you can't get any more Greek than that.
Jesus. Yeah. What do you exactly mean by that?
Like, all right. What do you call it? Sunshine. 2001: Space Odyssey.
Okay.
All these films, they were very outrageous and very out of the ordinary for films. So this one I'm not putting it on par with those, but I'm saying that it's similar in the aspect that it doesn't go with the conventional means of making a film. It doesn't go with the conventional storytelling. It doesn't fall victim to basically the cliche tropes of horror movies. That this film is fun. It's a fun horror movie to the style of Hellraiser with a comedic twist. I put it in my book like if Hellraiser was directed by Peter Jackson.
Would you really consider this to be a horror film?
Oh yeah. This is a horror film, 100%.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know.
A horror film.
I would call it like a thriller, like a psychological thriller.
I guess you could call it that, but it has its horror aspects. I mean, the ATV.
Oh yeah, the dudes are clad in black and look disgusting.
With the trippy cult and the aspect of burning people alive and all that shit. It's an interesting movie, and it's something that it's gonna be hard to swallow for a lot of people. But then again, so are all good movies. 2001 is not a movie that I could recommend for everybody. The Babadook is not a movie that I could recommend for everybody. This is not Star Wars. This is not what do you call it? Lord of the Rings. This is not any of those. This is an independent film with a dark twist and a dark story that's done in a way that's revolutionary.
I'll say this. We're doing spoilers, right? I can just say whatever I want?
Yeah, just give a heads up on it.
Cool. Spoilers. Even though this happens not relatively early, like midway through the film. I did not expect her to get burned alive like that. I was like, whoa. That got me by surprise. Yeah, and it's done very... it's not horrible, because like you don't see her burning. Sorry guys, I'm getting another call. I don't even know who's calling me. They have a blocked number this time. Just give me a second.
All message played back.
So I'm watching Mandy, and the beginning, Nick Cage goes crazy in this, right? It is a Nick Cage film, right? This is just, I want something to happen. It just seems bizarre right now, but let's see where this thing goes.
Jeez, I should put my phone on mute or something. I keep getting so many calls. Sorry about that. I lost my train of thought. That's how many calls we're getting.
Hey, we're actually, so just a little background noise. We're actually streaming this to everybody that's that's part of our group, part of the
Yeah.
Man Bites Media thing. That's why we keep getting calls and keep getting interrupted because everybody wants to pitch in and give their ideas on this film.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, now I remember. So the scene is not exactly like super violent, because she is in a bag, but you still see the bag like moving.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like whoa, and then like it's at the end it zooms in on her like her teeth. You could see her teeth through like a hole in the bag, and it's kind of like whoa.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's pretty intense. And like right after that, that scene where he goes into the house, and one of my favorite little side stories and little side things, side little quorums,
mhm.
is the Cheddar Goblin. And
By the way, I'm pretty sure that's not real. Is that real?
no, that's not real. That was
Okay,
made for
cool.
this movie.
Holy
But
shit, that is really done. I love when he starts barfing on the kids, like.
that they actually have when they released the DVD of this on the day before Halloween, they actually put it out there, and this is Legion M, which was one of the main financiers of the film, and Elijah Wood actually, and they put out a full size Cheddar Goblin like mock up
Oh my
on
God.
sale. And I was so tempted to buy that thing. I was like, I really can't justify buying this, but it is so cool. And I really want to get one. But let me tell you, I would not be able to restrain myself if they put up for sale that awesome axe
Yes.
that Nicolas Cage's character Red makes.
Can you even call it an axe? It's some
Oh, dude, that thing is so cool.
weird pike thing. I don't even know what to call it, honestly. Like that, the scene when he, spoilers again, when he sticks it in the dude's mouth.
Yes,
I was like,
so
whoa,
cool.
that was really violent.
And
you hear
can
him,
you
like-
imagine dying like that? Because you can
Yeah.
imagine he didn't die from the impalement until the very end.
No, he starts
And-
gargling on his blood. He's like,
Yeah,
you're like,
he must have
whoa.
been choking on his blood, dude. So
Yeah.
that guy suffered before dying, for
That-
real.
My favorite death though in the movie has to be other than the main guy at the end, I think when he cuts the dude's throat and like it just spills all over his face.
Yeah, and his
And he gets-
smile,
And he's just smiling with the blood on him. You're like, Jesus, man. This is some hardcore shit right now that we're getting into.
And all right, so let's go into Nick Cage a little bit.
Okay.
Nick Cage's character is named Red,
Yeah.
and which kind of it gives. Once you know the name of the character, you get the sense of why the filmmaker went with the style that he did. He's
The
red.
movie has a lot of red.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of red, but it only shows red when his character's on the screen. And then if you noticed, when Mandy's character's on the screen, it shows like a blue greenish tint to
It's
it.
like a purple, right?
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, like I didn't catch that watching the movie, but now that you're saying it, again, you've watched this movie 2 more times than I have. So at this point you're catching things that like small little like minute details that the director does that I didn't catch my first viewing. But yeah, now that you
Yeah.
mention it, there is a lot of red when he's on screen.
It's always red when he's on screen, always. And then even when Mandy and him are on screen, there's hints of red and hints of blue or green. It's
Gotcha.
very interesting. And a lot of people have issues with that, as you've heard, with the color texture, is because of that. I mean, you could sense that he's going into it because of he's trying to give characters distinction. Also, remember, this is an extremely low budget film. This is
Yeah.
a film that, and this is something that I heard in the behind the scenes since I bought the Blu-ray of it. He had to cover up a lot of things that he couldn't go back and reshoot that were faults.
Ooh, like
And-
what? I would love to hear this.
Like he doesn't go into details on what faults there was, but
Okay.
you got to understand this was a very independent film. This was
this has
extremely-
budget of what, $1 million or less?
It's like less than that, yeah.
Yeah.
This is
Right.
an extremely low budget movie, but for being a low budget movie, this is done very well.
The most expensive things I could think about in the film are probably the accident scene where his car flips
And
and
all
the
this
building.
stuff was filmed outside of the United States too.
Oh, was it? I don't know where it's filmed. It doesn't say where they filmed it. I was trying to look that up.
Belgium. The whole thing was shot in Belgium.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
And I would say probably the other most expensive thing is the building the church and burning the church.
Which did you get that sense, like that little homage to Aliens,
In what scene
where
particularly?
Nick Cage is first walking into the church, as soon as he walks in, it does like the slow motion track into the church, just like they did in Aliens when they're pulling
Huh.
up into the generator.
Oh, interesting. No, I didn't catch that.
Yeah,
Huh.
there's a bunch of little like nuanced things that are sporadically thrown throughout the film that are really interesting.
I
Um,
aesthetically
there's
my you go ahead. Sorry for interrupting.
no, 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 go ahead, go ahead.
Aesthetically, my one of my favorite scenes is when he's talking to the chemist and the lights turn on and it goes do 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 and it's like
Yes,
and it literally sounds like they're going up a scale like on a piano or something or like a synth
yeah.
and then it
Uh,
stops when it's like right above him and it's like that was probably aesthetically like the coolest scene, music and visually for me also.
That's actually the cover shot of the film is that scene of him, Red
Mm,
standing at the end of that hallway,
yeah,
and that was the cover art that they used for all the promotional material and all that stuff. It's
Int-
nuts how cool
yeah.
that scene is. But hold on a second, guys. 1 second, I'm getting a call.
Another one?
I know.
All message played back.
Yo, Brandon. So I don't know what this is or what it is that is going on. Trying to make heads or tails. Nicolas Cage, well, he looks deranged as always, but he's pretty much. You know, it's a weird movie when Nicolas Cage is the only one that's really making sense in the movie. So, yeah, don't know what this is all about, but I'm still pushing through and seeing if hopefully this picks up. It's not horrible, it's just, I don't know, trying to catch my attention, and it's not, kind of like it's here, there, and everywhere, but overall, it's not a horrible movie. I'm just trying to figure out where it's leading to. But anyway, call me back. Let me know what you think, and we'll try and get plans to get together. All right. I'll talk to you later. Later, bro.
Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. I completely lost my train of thought.
Man,
Um,
people are vocal today. They should have been on the show, Lewis. I'm kidding. It's just
I
it's
know. If it wasn't for schedules and everything, we would have been able to get everybody on. But
it's
well.
okay. It's okay.
Um,
I like
all
these
right,
more
so
intimate experiences. Sorry to everyone else on Man Bites Media. I love
yeah.
I love each of you dearly. It's just I love these intimate experiences. By the way,
Well, you know
shameless plug.
what? We started this shit. We had to have our little discussion, the two
Yeah.
of us, and this is our anniversary. We're celebrating it the best way possible. And hey, you know what? These little interruptions are pretty awesome. I'm actually going to include this in on the recording.
Okay,
'Cause
awesome.
This is pretty cool. So yes, the building of the character actually. I think Red's character is very interesting. The way that they actually built the character. This film doesn't use its traditional aspects of it. It doesn't go into like flashbacks of the character. It doesn't
No.
go into like building the character in a usual sense. Right off the bat, you know that Red is a lumberjack. Basically, he uses a chainsaw. He knows how to use a chainsaw, which is very important in a different scene, which is a pretty badass scene. Let me tell you.
Yes.
And then he's infatuated and completely enamored with Mandy, which that's shown and
yes.
proven without a doubt, a shadow of a doubt, which is one of
Us-
the most important points in the film because it's a revenge movie.
I also
and-
feel he's a recovering alcoholic.
You think so?
Yes.
I didn't catch that.
In the beginning of the movie, the guy gives him a drink, and he's like, "No." And did you notice how vigorously he grabs that hidden bottle in a bathroom?
Yeah. I had an issue with that too. I was
A
like,
bottle
huh?
in a bathroom, and
I'm
proceeds
glad I'm not
to
the only one that thought that was weird.
uh, proceeds to down this bottle. Mind you, yeah, you could say, oh, he just witnessed his girlfriend, wife, whatever she is to him, be burned alive in front of him. But, like, my man drinks like a savage, man.
Dude, seriously.
Like a savage.
And then the last thing that I think that's one of the most fascinating aspects is that, and this gives, what do you call it? It gives you what do you call it? Basically the backstory of why he can be as violent and can be such a badass like he is in the rest of the movie is when he goes to visit the black dude in his trailer.
Yeah, his friend or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you see he has a military jacket on. So you automatically you could kind of do the link and say, oh, they're ex-military. They were best friends. Why the hell is this guy holding a crossbow for him and made arrows for him?
He's definitely old enough to have been in Nam. If it's 1983, he's definitely old enough to have been in Vietnam.
Yeah.
For sure.
Or something like that. And then honestly, I could see him being like a John Wick character and just he's trying to live the normal life, or like a Wolverine, that he's trying to live his normal life with his girlfriend, and then these fuckheads interceded, and then boom, everything goes to shit.
Yeah. That's true. That is true. Mandy is the one that's like, they do go into detail about Mandy.
A little bit. But again, it's subtle.
Yeah. Like we said earlier, she does that whole thing where she tells Nick Cage about the time when her dad wanted to kill the starlings, the birds. And
that was, let me tell you, that is a very interesting scene, and it could kind of give you the sense of like why she laughs at this serial killer, why she laughs at the cult leader and all that stuff that sets all these moments in motion. Because let's be real, if it wasn't for her laughing, this whole thing wouldn't have happened the way that it did.
What did you think his original plot, I guess, with Mandy was before he decided to kill her because she laughed at him? What did you think they were going to do?
Oh, to be his wife.
Yeah, to like basically rape her, basically, and like be his sex slave. He calls her his wife.
The same way that the other one, the same way that the other woman was, the one that did what do you call it, the revolver to the head thing.
Yeah, but I feel like she's the most normal one.
Well, she is, but she was probably the same way. She was probably kidnapped and made to be his wife.
Like brainwashed basically or not brainwashed, but scared enough.
Yeah, scared to death.
Yeah,
and
scared to death.
I think that's what they would have done the same thing to her. But Mandy was, I think, the whole story with the starlings and everything. It kind of explains, like, dude, she dealt with this as a child, some psychotic father figure that, So all she could do when she's literally hopped up full of drugs is that she has to laugh because she's like, really, I'm back in this situation again. And that's what sets off the whole thing, the whole plot into motion is her laughing because of the situation that she said with the starlings. Like, she had an abusive father that was a complete fuck.
By the way, I did not expect to see so much Flassad Panos in my face that scene when she was laughing.
Oh, dude, the funny thing is,
wow, that's a lot of penis.
I was watching it and I paused that scene right when I went to get a drink of water because I didn't want to miss anything. And the girlfriend's like, really? You stopped it there? I was like, yep. You gotta watch the pee for a while.
Yeah. Wait, whoa. So, there's an owl in my wait. William sent me an owl instead of with parchment instead of calling my phone. What the? Give me a second. Give me a second.
Okay.
All message played back.
Okay, so I am sending this recording attached to an owl because you have not gotten back to me, and I don't know what is going on, but I am trying to push through this movie, and I don't know what it is that you made me watch, but It's I don't know. It's here, there, it's everywhere. Nicolas Cage, the only one that's making sense, and that in itself really speaks volumes about a movie. But we will see what happens, and hopefully we'll come out the other side not as messed up as he is in this movie. But anyway, call me back. Stop ignoring me. Take care of my owl. Send him back when you're done. Oh, also, feed him because he's gonna be hungry by the time he gets down there. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Sorry about that, guys. I was just I don't even know what the hell is going through William's mind. Sorry, continue. So your girlfriend Molly was seeing the Panas in all its glory. Because
Yeah,
my
yeah.
God, that scene was, and it just lingers on it. Like he's like massaging himself, and you're like, whoa, what's going on here? There's a lot of penis.
It was actually really funny, and I thought it. Let's talk about his character a little bit more, because let me tell you, he is definitely a fascinating character.
What's his
Uh,
name?
This is
Jeremiah Sand. There's his name.
yes,
I forgot his name.
Jeremiah Sand. Like you could imagine him being like one of these like country singers or whatever, that just go completely haywire and
Well, it's
or hippie
definitely it's
singers.
said that it's implied that he's a failed singer,
Yeah,
and that's why he puts his music on for Mandy. I was about to say
which is
Molly.
hilarious.
I was about to say Molly. That's hilarious. My bad. Oh my God. Yeah,
Yeah,
and his death, man. Whew, baby. There's some
that was awesome.
he, the entire time I'm watching that scene, I'm like, man, the amount of force that you have to crush a man's skull.
Let me tell you
Like
this.
that.
This is where it gets kind of fictional and kind of movie. There's no way a man could crush
Oh,
a
hell no.
person's skull.
Hell
You
no.
cannot. Not through the temples. So that's completely BS. Just FYI, guys. So this you gotta suspend belief a little bit on a lot of the scenes that go on in this movie. Again, take it with a grain of salt and
Yeah.
enjoy it. Don't sit there and tear the movie apart like if it's this perfect story, because it's not.
Yeah, no.
But it is a fun journey to go down.
It's just, man, like
very dark.
he
fun
crushes
journey.
it, and then it's just like his eye pops out. There's just blood everywhere. You're like, whoa. It's,
You know what I immediately thought of was what do you call it, the scene in Walking Dead with the eyeball hanging out. I was like, yes.
Well, have you seen? How far did you get into Game of Thrones? Because I know you were watching that.
I got all the way to the end.
Okay, cool. Well, that reminded me of spoilers for anyone that hasn't seen I think it's the season finale, season 4, when the mountain kills. When the mountain kills, Jesus, what's his name? The Spanish guy. He
I know
basically squeezes his skull and it pops. I was like, oh, that's very much in the vein of Game of Thrones in that scene.
Yeah. You could see a lot of the different influences from different people, but let me tell you, Linus Roche, Jeremiah Sand, the actor that plays Jeremiah Sand, he is a phenomenal actor in this movie. Like Nick Cage was actually supposed to be playing that role, if you could imagine that. Like originally he was going to audition for that role, and Nick Cage continued reading the script, and he's like, dude, I would really like to play Red Miller.
This is fucking hilarious. I'm looking at the roles that Linus Roche, however you say his name, has played in the past. He actually played Thomas Wayne in Batman Begins.
Yeah, holy shit.
He played Bruce's dad in
That's nuts.
Batman Begins. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Didn't know that.
And he's in Vikings too. That's where I know him from.
Oh, he's in the show Vikings, the History Channel one? Gotcha.
Yeah. That's a pretty awesome show, and his role in that is freaking awesome.
So what else do you wanna? I don't know where else to go with this movie. We've been.
Oh, there's a lot to go. There's still Andrea Riseborough. Her role as Mandy is just her acting. There's one scene in particular where she expresses every sense of emotion that she needed to express in her eyes. I thought that was just something like completely crazy and out there. And I haven't seen acting like that in a long time. Let me tell you that.
What
It's
what scene was that?
it was the scene where she's talking with Mandy with I'm sorry, with Red,
Okay.
and she's like showing this sense of like uncomfortableness with the conversation, and then her eyes shift in mid conversation,
Hmm.
and her eyes completely change to like this like sensing of like lostness, and it's there's no music in the scene. It's completely void of everything, even dialogue, and it's all expressed through her eyes. And I think that was skillfully done in this movie and multiple times. This is not the only occasion um, the Mandy character does this. It's also something that Red does when he's watching Mandy burn. Nicolas Cage is not vocal at all. It's literally completely quiet, and all you hear are the sound effects,
Yeah.
and that's it. That's nuts. That's such a scene where you could show so much emotion, but I'm glad they subdued it and took it away from him
It
and
was
allowed him to just express it through his eyes.
one of the,
It's so good.
one of the scenes that I found was really cool was the scene when Jeremiah Sand is talking to Mandy, and the director decides to do this thing where like her face is on his face, and it goes away, and I didn't notice that. Like I thought it was still there, but like it felt like I was going crazy because of the drugs, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It was such an interesting scene, and that was the moment where I was like, man, I really feel like I'm on drugs watching this movie. Sorry, guys, just give me a second. At least this person's calling me and not sending a goddamn out of my house. Just give me a second.
All message played back.
Well, hello again. God, it was really difficult to sit through those scenes when we're watching the Jeremiah cult, kidnap Mandy. And again, the quiet and the silence and the colors. It's just, it all works to compound, I guess, the feeling and the emotion of the film. Oh my God, that unbelievable scene in the bathroom where he breaks down and he's pouring the vodka and he's drinking the vodka and then he's healing his wounds with the vodka and then he's sitting in the toilet in his underwear and crying, and it's just crazy. And you're seeing this rush of trauma and PTSD and pain and sorrow and resolution turn to this state of revenge. And the next thing you know, he goes on his the killing spree to eke out his revenge for the loss of his wife. And it was violent, pure and absolute violence. Oh my God, I just wanted to share that with you.
All right, guys, sorry about that. Had to take that quick call. So yeah, that was the first time in the film where I was like, man, I feel like I'm legitimately going crazy with her. By the way, another thought I had about her, she just looks super old in the movie, or is it just me? Like,
I don't think she does.
her hair and her makeup, maybe it's just that.
Dude, that scene where she's walking through the forest, she looks like a wood nymph or something like that. I feel like I was watching Legend or like something out of Lord of the Rings.
Watching
I was like,
Legend,
that's turned into an elf.
I don't know, man. Like, she just looked oddly old. I don't know if it was the makeup or her like features, her facial features. Like,
There was something strangely attractive about her. I can't pinpoint what it is because physically she's not, but she does something about her presence or something that is very attractive. It's very weird and kind of, I think it adds to the unsettling nature of it, you know?
yeah, I don't know. Like, the movie's weird, man. I was the entire time I remember watching it. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching, dude? Like, this is a weird movie. It makes I don't know. It's just this roller coaster of just like violence and passion, and I don't know.
Well, actually, going back on that moment where you were talking about Mandy and Jeremiah Sands' faces converging with each other, I think that's the point where Jeremiah was trying to manipulate her and trying to kind of take over her.
And it happened,
And
and it worked for a second, and then
yeah,
when her face disappears is when she's like, "Nah, this ain't
yeah,
working on me, dude." Yeah,
yeah.
it's true.
And I mean, yeah, there's kind of moments like that where it's kind of artistic, kind of
Yeah,
a lot of free range on that one. But then there's other moments where you just gotta turn off and enjoy it. I think honestly, the aspects of like real like in-depth filmmaking and stuff like that is the first half of it, prior to the burning scene and all that stuff. After that, he kind of goes just off the rails, which the first half of the film is very conventional, and then it completely derails and goes off on this like insane psychedelic journey. And
yeah.
hold on a second, guys, I'm getting a call.
Okay.
All message played back.
I know I'm not on drugs, but this film is making me feel like I'm on drugs. So if I was really on drugs, good God. Oh, it's about dang time Nicolas Cage got crazy. Holy crap. Okay. So that bathroom sequence, I think the director's borrowing from Stanley Kubrick. No wonder you like this so much. Alrighty, let's see where this leads to.
Okay then. So
right.
yeah, what was that?
Yeah, and it takes a while. It's about like an hour and 10 minutes before the movie really kicks into like high gear. Before that, the movie's slow.
It is. It's very pacing.
Yeah.
It's very well paced because it's slow, but it keeps you intrigued, and you kind of there's not a moment where you stop and say, looking at your watch, like I'm bored of this, you know. It keeps you intrigued, and it keeps pulling you in further and further. I think that's why the director chose that moment to kind of, all right, this is where you suspend belief and just have fun, guys. Here it goes.
Here we go. Here's the violence. It's coming at you right now, real quick. And there's some other than like the skull crushing. I like when he throws the axe thing and it impales one of the dudes in the head.
And completely silhouetted.
Yeah, it's just like, and then the chainsaw battle is probably
epic.
Yeah, that's probably the best like fight in the movie. And that his death isn't even that violent. Like the guy just lands on it, and like you see blood and stuff like that, but you don't really see like the chainsaw cut him in half or any of that stuff. What other? I like the guy with the dagger penis. That guy was cool.
That I wanted to see more of that.
Dude,
I was like, dude, come on.
What the? So like in the film, Nick Cage wakes up. He's been kidnapped, and he again suspend your disbelief, but like he's underground, and then comes up into like somebody's trailer. And then he sees this couple that is dead, and the guy has like a bloody ass because he's been raped by this dude with a dagger dick. And
that reminded me of the scene from The Shining where Nick what do you call it, Jack Nicholson is walking around the hotel,
and he sees the dude giving the other guy head, the bunny or whatever. Yeah,
the bear.
It's the bear. There we go. You know that the dagger dick reminded me of the movie Seven.
Yep.
Because there's an actual person with a dagger. They have like a dagger strap on. These are some weird people. I'm sorry, guys. Just give me a second. We're getting another call. I'm getting kind of tired of these calls. No, I'm kidding. I love each and every one of you. Just give me a second.
All message played back.
Okay. Mandy review. Real quick, I'll sum it up with this phrase. It's basically like Stanley Kubrick and Zack Snyder did lines of coke and had sex and produced a film, baby. Yeah, that's about as much as I can say. Thanks for having me watch this. Peace.
All right, I hope that was the final call of the show. Yeah. These people are to some weird, like, there's the dude with the nails all over him that gets run over by Red. There's the...
Run over, and he makes the car go flipping because...
Another one.
Like, yeah, he's a rock-like man or something.
Yeah,
you know,
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
I straight up think that these guys are like straight out of Hellraiser or something. It's
Dude,
like
that,
the what do you call it, the Sodomites or something.
yeah, like this is that's it's scenes like that make me think like, yo, are these normal people? Because they're not acting like normal people. Like, you're telling me this guy gets hit by a car and makes the car flip? What?
Yeah.
Some other guy has a slimy face and sounds like he's from hell? Like, what? Okay, I can believe the guy with the dagger dick, because that's just a strap on, whatever. You put that on, you call it a day. But some of the other guys, you're just like, this is straight out of, like you said, some Hellraiser shit.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Honestly, like, this movie, imagine Hellraiser with, if David Lynch directed Hellraiser, I think this is what we would have gotten.
Oh, one other thing.
In the 80s.
One other thing. So the entire movie is based off of the LSD that has gone wrong, right?
Yes.
What is that stuff that they give to Mandy, like the eye drops, and then they take out that massive wasp? That is a meaty wasp, my dude.
That is actually true, and so is a lot of the little like things that they bring up. The what do you call it? The horn of Apraxis.
Okay.
That's actually like an actual thing.
Yeah,
and so is the Children of the New Dawn and all that stuff. Children of New Dawn is like a cult.
That's another thing that makes me think that the biker gang are like otherworldly, because they one of the guys from the cult like blows the horn and it sounds like I don't know, man. It's some weird shit that you're like, what is this?
It's like the what do you call it, the dog whistle of hell.
yeah, and then like he whips out like this like massive dagger that looks like, I don't know, man. It's like that stuff, and then the eye drops with the meaty yoked out wasp. That it's just weird.
Yeah, and that actually the wasp that big actually does exist.
Jesus.
I think it was some part of Africa or something like
that.
That
is a scary looking thing, man. Like, wasps in general are scary. I would not like to see one of that size ever in my lifetime.
Right?
Never.
Dude.
But what I was asking is, like, what is the purpose of them putting those eye drops and then making the wasp like stinger in the neck? Is that like the LSD? Is that what they made the LSD out of?
Probably.
Because when they do the eye drop, like, you see the vein like come out, like she gets that weird thing going down her face.
Yeah.
I
think half the movie is mostly like a hallucinogenic trip.
Yes.
And a lot of it is just that's what makes it fun to watch, though. It's something like I also put it up there with like Gaspar Noé, Irreversible, all these type of movies, and what's his name, the one that did your other favorite movie, the one that I made you watch, Antichrist.
Lars von Trier.
Yeah, it's like Lars von Trier style film.
Much better, because Jesus Christ.
yeah, it actually has a story, which Lars von Trier really doesn't have any story.
And it has penis.
Let's be real.
It has a lot of penis, but it's better than Willem Dafoe's penis. Yeah, see what I did there? Sorry. That's a callback to I don't even know how long it's been since we did Antichrist. That was a long time ago.
That was one of the first punishment movies I gave you, so yeah.
Woo! That was back in the day when we used to hate each other and we used to punish the shit out of each other, and it was horrible. It was god-awful. We would watch some... Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Oh, but we had some fun with those.
Yeah, no. But this movie, yeah, it feels like you're definitely, like I said in the beginning of our review, it definitely feels like you're on drugs half the time. And maybe half of the stuff in the movie isn't as crazy as, like, how do I explain this? Maybe the director makes it seem like they're crazy looking, but they're not really that crazy looking.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I see that.
Maybe it's supposed to look otherworldly and crazy because it's supposed to mimic the effect that you're on some sort of hallucinogenic drug.
Yeah.
God knows.
I can see that.
But hey, man, God knows what's going through Panos Cosmatos, head.
But overall, what do you give this film?
7.5. Maybe if I watch it again, I'll enjoy more. Again, it's a fine movie. It's just weird.
I will tell you this, that the watching this in theaters
Was better.
was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had. In
Really?
the theater, this movie is a perfect 10.
Why is that?
It's the sound engineering in the theater
Mm-hmm.
is ridiculous.
Okay.
Like you completely suspend belief 100%. There's no question
Yeah,
from the
it's
moment you watch this movie. Um,
it's
Watching this in my own home and all that stuff, it drops it down by a full point, just the sound engineering and everything.
gotcha.
And that's with a good surround sound system and everything. It just literally drops it down at least a full point.
Hmm.
So I give this movie a 9 overall,
Okay.
just to keep it baseline, because obviously everybody here will be watching this at home now.
Yeah.
Um,
I
so it's going to be streaming on Shudder too. So
like I said,
anybody that has Shudder, check it out.
I don't dislike the movie. I just think maybe rewatching it, maybe I'll gain like an appreciation for it, like a cult movie or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. I enjoyed the soundtrack so much that I actually searched it up if they had it on Spotify, and they do. So I'll probably be listening to some of that 80s synth music because,
Oh,
my
yeah.
God, I
It's
enjoyed the shit out of it.
fantastic.
Yeah, it's very good. So yeah, that's...
So I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. And thank you everybody, honestly, for joining us and being with us. Anybody that's been listening since the beginning, thank you guys. I appreciate it.
It has been one hell of a journey, and thank you.
Oh yeah, we got another journey ahead of us for the next couple of years. So thank you guys, honestly, and we'll see you guys next week back to our regular scheduled programming, and we'll be able to continue our journey on Man Bites Media, Man Bites Film. Thank you, Brandon, honestly, for dealing with all my craziness and
Yeah,
all the crazy movies.
Yeah, thank you. No, thank you for letting me be a part of this because it's definitely been an honor and it's been a lot of fun. And I hope that we continue to do it for a long time.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So that's us signing off. Have a good one, man.
See you later, guys.